And reminder, it's guidelines, it's a code of honor that asks you to show up live. Being agile is full of ceremonies that demands you to be on time, remain punctual, and remain highly committed. Why you need to be punctual? Because that's the demand of the um, agile. In fact, it is everywhere common, but in agile world, things are of time. The era is of time boxing, and that demands you to practice this. In case you are not practitioner of this, continue to consider this training itself as a project. Practice is over here, and it will be quite easy for you to, once you get placed, to practice as a part of as a person of agility. As an agilist, you can showcase that, because it is said that would be inculcated, you would be inculcating these traits because of the practice. Why? Because it is said that how you do anything is how you do everything. And the second, you chose to learn. Many of you coming from the vast experiences as well. Already you have experience into IT too, and still you chose to learn. That makes you a student. But we want you to be the full stack student who does all the assignments given to you, do self-research and repeat what they learn. That makes you a full stack student. And while you do so, you finish what you complete. That makes you that enables you to hit the success. You can easily take the full responsibility of that. So continue to take the full responsibility of that. Is the result of the success, that is finishing what you started. But when you don't, you know that you hit back the failure. Can you take the full responsibility of that as well? Yes, you are encouraged to take the full responsibility of that too. Why? Because by taking full responsibility of both the element, be it success or failure, you can acknowledge the failure, you can embrace it, you can accept it, and thereby you can go back and correct it. When you will correct it, you will realize that failure was not a failure, that is the trail to the success. That's the reason you need to take the full responsibility of that. But for doing so, you need to understand the mindset behind it. The mindset, the very first one, is inspired from the lean management's Kaizen that talks about continuous improvement. For that, you need to inculcate the learning mindset. More learning minded you will become, you will find yourself growing more positive minded you will become, you will find yourself growing more complaint free, more complaint free, in a way that you can handle any project as an agilist in a very stringent timeline, as well as with the lack of resources. And if you could do that more successfully, you will find yourself getting loaded in more gratitude that leads to eventually the highest level of productivity. And if you can continue to do so, remember to increase receptivity before you start your day, how you are going to get started with your day. And for that, generally, I recommend everyone to, become the part of the 30 days challenge. What is 30 days challenge? I have a detailed explanation onto that in the day once recording. That's the recommendation. You can ask to join this 30 days challenge, which is complimentary, and you will be amazed to see how your every single day activities outcome are getting impacted positively, and you would love to do it more and more and more. And once you can do that and start your day accordingly, remember, for any new learning, to start with the golden quadrant of learning that comes with the 4-step framework. The very first one is declaration with the anchor, then second one is learning, and then drawing after 24 hours, and then summarizing it in less than 3 minutes, or maximum or minimum 90 seconds of video, as a part of summary, in a way that even 5 years old can understand. And track your own progress. If you had no experience in IT, how you have progressed from novice to expert. So this is how is the tracking will happen. And let's get started with the very first step, that is declaration with the anchor. What will be the anchor? Anchor will be a quick self hi-fi, or the clap you just now heard on the speaker. So what I'm going to do is that I will be counting 1, 2, 3 and clap. That will be the anchor, and then we'll declare the selected statement on your screen. Please unmute and say yes if you can see the
Yes.
selected statement on the screen. Yeah, all of you?
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes.
Yes.
Yeah. So kindly model me. I'll count 1, 2, 3 and clap and repeat. I'm a quick learner.
I'm a
I'm a
quick
I'm a
quick
quick
learner.
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 What others can learn and master,
What
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 others
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 can
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 learn and
learn and
master,
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 I too can do that.
I too can do that.
One more time with the next statement. 1, 2, 3, and clap and repeat. Because I'm a quick learner.
Because I'm a quick learner.
Today's learning is going to be
Today's learning is going to be
super duper easy to me.
super duper easy to me.
Yes, it is going to be because you said so. In case few of you have found it a bit awkward while doing so, remember to follow the 6th code of honor that says that you need to be a giver. What you will give away, what you need to give back, that you need to understand. So give away, keeping ego away on the path of learning, that makes you more spiritually grounded on the path of growth. When I say spiritually grounded, it means that your happiness level increases, and happiness is today's new productivity, and that's the demand of the corporate. And you need to also remember that you are not here just to give away and um, uh, also you are here to give back. And it is said that what you want to gain more of, you must start giving away the portion of. And for that very reason, in case you are already earning, start giving away 5% or 10% of your earning to the causes wherever you believe in. And in case you are not earning, can you have at least an intent of giving away after you get placed, after you start earning, that to 5% or 10% of your earning? And what kind of causes you can give back? That is donating into orphanages, or feeding hungry children, or um, uh, you know um, uh, or old age home, or donating into churches, mosque, gurudwara, or temple. Wherever you want, you can give away the portion. And while you do so, continue to appreciate what you do, what others do for you. And even it doesn't sound that it is helping you back, continue to do so, because eventually this is a universal law that says that how you what you appreciate appreciates you back. And the last but not the least, how we will remain connected every single day. On Sunday, you are meeting anyway for the technical session at 10 p.m. EST. Monday, again, like today, we will be meeting for the technical session at 10 p.m. EST. And Tuesday, you must attend RRP session, that is reference ready resume preparation, is the gateway to placement. So mandatorily, you need to attend it, because that strengthens your visibility, credibility, and thereby your marketability. And then the placement happens. Wednesday, you need to complete the assignment from the learning of Sunday. Thursday, again, you need to repeat the RRP session. Yeah, it happens twice in a week for sure, minimum. You must attend that. You know the reason behind it, to strengthen your visibility, credibility, and marketability. That is the gateway to placement. And Friday, you need to complete the assignment from the learning of Monday. Saturday, you can choose to relax or have a breather day, or still do the research work, or repeat whatever you have learned, or prepare any question that you want to answer on the next learning session, that is on Sunday. So this is how we are going to remain connected. Is it clear? That everything is clear to all of you? Say yes if you are very much clear with this entire roadmap. Yeah?
Yeah.
Yes.
One person or everyone?
Yes.
Can you? Okay,
Yes.
with this note, while I'm asking, thank you so much for a couple of responses. I want all of you to go on unmute. Okay, why you need to remain on unmute? Because I want all of you to contribute into the session, because session will not be conducted by me, it will be led by you. Okay, because when you will participate, then only the leading will happen. Okay, so please remain unmuted. And in case you think that you cannot contribute into the session, then you can remain muted if you are contributing at home or from wherever you are connecting. So we will take in that way. Is it clear, everyone? Now?
Yes.
Yes, still I have only few yeses. Okay, not more. So this request is to all of you that please remain active into the session, guys, because you can only learn when you participate. You cannot learn, otherwise you will go ahead and entire track will end up with the lots of doubt. So do you want to go back with the doubts or with the clarity?
With the clarity.
Clarity.
Only three of you want to go with the clarity. Remaining all of you want to end the track with the doubts. Is that right? Say
No.
no if.
No.
Okay, thank you. Thank you. I'm glad that you, all of you, want to go ahead with the clarity. Thank you so much. But still, sometimes we are a patterned human being. Whatever we will speak or whatever we will do, we have certain slogan in our mind. That is more or less used in the Indian movies. like goes like this, jhukega nahi, something like that. I will not bend on whatever you ask. I won't respond. Okay, with this note, what we learned last time was, um, done definition of done that was summed up in scrum.org. Scrum.org is the website. When you will go back, you will realize everything we caught yesterday that is related to quality, definition of done, user story. So how it will be, it is mentioned in the scrum.org. Now we need to understand this. Okay, there are three types of minimum DOD that starts from initial, mature, and stringent. Okay, so when we talk about stringent, this is at the last level. You remember we were talking about environment, okay? How it progresses from local environment to the production environment. Do you remember that, guys? Yes, no? No, then you can say no, because I might have
No,
taken
I
this.
don't.
No.
Okay, okay,
No.
all right, brilliant. So let me quickly tell you. So how what happens when we are in the we are into this software development? We end up delivering the value with the software to the customer, but that has to travel from a local machine to the live environment. When we are talking about the live environment, what do you mean by that live environment? Can someone tell me? What do we mean
It's
by
in
When
that?
when the
production.
users are actually using it.
Yeah. So can you give me some example of it? I can go and I will find, okay,
Mm.
this is the live environment. I can use it here. Who can tell me? Give me any answer.
It's Amazon actually, if Amazon.com or any
Yes, you
website.
are
Yes,
right. Any
yeah,
website
which
which
is
is
available for using the end users or
exactly, you are right. Okay, say for example, this is Amazon.com. This will be your live environment. But Amazon, before coming for the end user, which will be also called as wait a second, which will be also called as say for example, this is your production environment.
yes,
Live environment will be called as what, everyone?
production environment.
Production
Production
environment.
environment.
Production environment. But very rarely it happens. But if someone finds anything that came, some error that came into production, okay, this requires to be checked, and so into the similar like environment.
So
Okay.
pre-prod, pre-production or UAT, like kind of.
No, what was the question? What you understood the question, and what was the
I'm
answer?
sorry.
If you
I
can
was
tell.
just yeah. I'm sorry. I just thought
No,
maybe
no, no. You.
you are asking the before production going for like
And
what
what?
the stage, what the
Yes.
environment should be. That should
Yeah.
be like pre-production or UAT, like where you test end users test already, like it's same software that you are testing there, and checking everything is okay, and then it goes to the production. So
Okay.
that's the
Okay. Good attempt. But at the same time, I want others to know. Did you understand what exactly Titus is trying to tell? Titus, you are trying to mention that.
yeah. I'm sorry, my
Yeah.
voice
No,
is
no, no, no.
bad and I'm coughing.
That's
Actually,
okay.
I'm so
Okay.
like, no, that's why I'm going to mute,
Yeah.
because
No,
may
no,
I
no.
cough like in any time, so I
Okay,
can.
not a
Yeah,
problem,
that's
not a problem.
why.
Please take care.
Yeah.
So yeah, she was trying to tell what that was right. So I wanted everyone to understand what she was trying to tell. She was telling that, yeah, before production, there should be one more environment. What she said was right, was the pre-prod environment. What environment, everyone?
Pre-prod environment.
Pre-prod.
Pre-prod is also known as pre-production environment. Sometime it is also called as mirror environment or mock environment. Okay, mirror or mock. What kind of environment it is known?
Mirror or mock.
Mirror or mock.
Yeah, yeah, because this is the replica. Sometimes it is also called as replica environment, production replica. Okay, so what will happen exactly how it is there in the live environment. Everything you will find it over here. Okay, you will find it. Users are using it. Okay, not users, but for the testing purpose, whatever the problem has occurred over here, it can be reproduced over there. With me so far, everyone? So that you cannot do any changes into the live environment, then can you do into the replica environment? For sure, you can do that. Yeah, that's the reason it will be called as pre-prod environment. And she was right. She was trying to help us to understand what exactly comes before production environment, that is the pre-prod environment. And before pre-prod, you know, she also mentioned one more environment where before it gets launched into the production, pre-prod access is already there with the vendors. But at the same time, this environment before coming live, it has to undergo this environment where user has accepted it, and it will be called as which environment, everyone?
UAT.
UAT. What is the full form of UAT?
User acceptance.
User acceptance testing.
Yeah. And before it comes to user to accept, it has to be integrated together as a system, as a whole, because, you know, in Agile, we are giving a few modules, okay, in every sprint. Okay, we are not giving the entire system. We are giving from product backlog few user story to develop in one sprint, then few user story to develop in another sprint. With me so far? So we are giving actually the modules to the customer, and at one time you will find this entire modules has to be integrated as a part of system. Then it will be tested under this environment, which is called as what?
SIT.
SIT. So what will be the full form of this SIT?
System
System
integration.
integration testing.
Exactly, you're right. System integration testing environment. But before it gets tested as a system as a whole, it has to be tested, just tested, okay, into one common environment where every model is getting tested. That environment will be called as what environment?
Testing.
Testing environment. Yes, you are right. And excuse me for my handwriting is not so good. I can't say even good. Okay. So it's a testing environment. But before it gets and it appears into the testing environment, it has to be developed. Okay. And when it gets developed, it has to access by all the developers at one place. And that's the reason that environment will be called as what environment? Development environment. But development environment where all the coders or developers can access, it has to be developed at local machine, and that's the reason that environment will be called as what environment, everyone?
Local environment.
Exactly, you are right. Yes, that's a local environment. So in a way, you will see that it is traversing from local to dev environment to testing environment to SIT environment to UAT environment to pre-prod environment and to prod environment. Okay, with me so far, everyone?
Yeah.
You understood the various production, and what I was scribing, remember that in your mind. What I was speaking, that I was drawing, wasn't I? Yeah,
Right.
right. And why you need to remember what I was doing just now? Because something will be coming up in couple of weeks. Okay, that's the reason I want you to remember this. Okay, so now let's go back to our this DOD part. Okay, so here in DOD part, there are three types of DOD is there: initial, matured, and stringent. Yeah, so in stringent DOD, certain activity happens that you need to take care of. Okay, and that happens for a system to go into UAT environment. So in UAT, you will see that few criteria has met, few criteria like all the acceptance criteria which are the part of user stories. You remember yesterday we were talking about user story and its acceptance criteria. Do you all remember that?
Yeah.
Yes. Yeah. So that all acceptance criteria has to be met. It has been done. No dependency on those user story or acceptance criteria is there. And see, this is integration testing. It is talking about SIT. This integration happen for the entire system where multiple modules get integrated together. It has to be passed by testers. By whom?
Testers.
Testers.
Yes. And then whatever the developers are developing, even those code, what Prerna explained yesterday about under unit test. So that unit testing has to be completed and should be greater than 85% in terms of passing ratio. With me so far? Yes?
Yes.
Yeah.
And there should be a coding standard. Okay, in that coding standard, it should meet the coding standard criteria. There should not be any error into that. When then comes the technical debts. So while coding happens, so who can tell me what do you mean by technical debts? A quick answer or guess on information if you have. Okay, I'll tell you. So I was talking about the line of code other day. You remember that? So developers write a multiple lines of code. Okay, when they are so when they are developing a software, they are writing the pieces of code, and when they are writing the pieces of code every single day, they are also, for their information, their knowledge, and for entire developers, when they will be accessing their code, they should be understanding what piece of code is doing what, and they will be continue to commenting them that their objective and their purpose behind writing the certain piece of the code. And those information are non-executable because those are commented, but can be referred by others to know the objective behind every single line of the code. So those will be making the entire code bulkier. Okay, although those are for the reference purpose. So our objective is to keeping it very, very short, not making it more bulkier when it comes to software, and keeping it lightweighted. So that's the reason the standard allows the those unnecessary lines of code should not be coming from more than last 5 days. And if it is there, so anyways, it is making it bulkier, and that's the reason it is called as technical debt. What it is called as?
Technical debt.
Yeah, it means that these are not actually necessary, but because of the technology, we kept on adding them. Okay, so those remain the deads in the line of the codes, and we can remove them if it is more than 5 days. Then comes to the maintainability index for the modules per code should not be greater than 90. 90 is the, again, the line of the code under every module. So in every module, it is decided as under maintainability index that your line of code should not be more than 90, which requires to be maintained. Minimum 90 lines of code can be always easily maintained. So, or more than or lesser than that you need to take care of that. While you are developing your software, you are making it UAT ready. Remember that automation of this entire software or application can be done, and 75% of coverage of the entire system can be automated. That should be your goal as well, because you are making it UAT ready. Okay. In the automation as well, all the functionality has been tested and test passed by your testing team. A regression where whatever the fixes has come or the error which was introduced has been also tested and test passed. And because of that, no other new error has been introduced. This is the security level penetration testing has been passed. Load testing, which is the NFR, non-functional requirement, has been passed. Any performance related issues has been also passed, and no known defects are there, which means that okay, you can say I know that there is a defect because the moment it the moment the page gets loaded, it flickers 5 times and then gives the access to the user. I know this is the known defect. Everyone is knowing that, but that doesn't give UAT approval. That is still a defect. So it says that no known defect, even though it is known, it has to be resolved. The entire software at peer level has been reviewed when it comes to code review, and any compliances related to documentation, quality has been taken care, has been in the place, and the regulatory requirement is complete. Whatever customer has asked as a quality gateway, that has been passed, and you have given it the UAT approval. So these entire work will become the part of a stringent DoD. But when it comes to matured, you know that certain things will be anyway part of this matured one, that you can consider that at least towards the SIT, okay, system integration testing, you need to take care of certain things. Few elements that you will see here will any be considered as a part of stringent, but towards the SIT, you should not be concerned about every single things. Here you will see the NFR activities are not, considered into the SIT phase. But before SIT, it has to be at dev environment, consider the few lesser activity. Here means we are not worried about automation test and all, because it is still at the dev environment level. So this defines the initial DoD, mature DoD, and stringent DoD can be understood by UAT ready, making it UAT ready, SIT ready, and dev environment ready. With me so far, everyone? Yes, no?
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes.
So let's continue further. Okay. So that you need to understand, okay, what is coming up. So this was part of DoD, definition of done. Let me bring something at the next level. We were talking about sprint review came up, sprint planning came up, but these all were the result of product backlog management. What it were the result of, everyone?
Product backlog management.
Backlog management.
Yeah. So in this product backlog management, who was responsible for making it successful? It was you as a part of team. You are called as a functional team. What you will be called as, everyone?
Functional team.
Functional team.
Yes. And you are the reason of this product backlog management. You are the functional team, also known as self-organized and cross-functional team. So self-organized is keyword that you are already knowing and you are aware of. Okay. So when this entire team is the responsible is the reason of the product backlog management, so the question should come as this, that who owns the product backlog? Okay. So for that, I want you to understand this. Okay. You see, this is the product backlog iceberg. Okay. So in this product backlog iceberg, what happens? All the user stories or all the backlog items has to be prioritized, has to be done what, everyone?
Prioritized.
Prioritize. And the highest priority one you will always find as at the top of the berg. Okay. And when it is the medium priority, it will go towards the surface level, towards the medium portion of the berg, and beneath the surface, you will find all the low priority future releases will be there. Okay, when I say future releases, all are just tickets. By now, you have understood that we can call every backlog item in terms of ticket, or every user story can be termed as ticket. Every activities can be termed as a ticket into the project management tool. With me so far, everyone? Yeah?
Yes.
Yes, no?
Yeah.
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 So I want someone to read the first bullet point for me.
The product backlog is owned by a product owner and reviewed during the sprint planning meeting.
Yeah. So now we have the answer. Who owns the product backlog? It means one-liner definition will be created by product owner. Okay, and he knows what customer is expecting in the upcoming sprint, in the very first sprint, and he will be pulling those tickets into the sprint planning meeting, and he discusses over that, making sure everyone understand. Okay. And for that, product owner comes with one more responsibility. Someone please read the second point for me.
It's important that product owners describe the task in clear, customer-focused language without technical specifications.
Yeah, thank you so much for reading this out. So yes, you need to understand that product owner, even though owns the product backlog, the clarity has to be given in a very precise manner. So when we are talking about the clarity, it means that no, technical language, not everyone can understand. Yes, developers can understand, but when it comes to the other cross-functional team members, for that it has to be clarified in a customer focused language, that is what exactly customer need to do, because even customer cannot understand the technology, right? And for that you need to be explaining in that manner. So every one of you as a part of future product owner roles and responsibility, you should be understanding, avoiding lesser of the technology and more towards the customer language. So in the entire agile learning and business analysis learning, you will find 20% of technology is used, and 80% of customer focused language is used. Have you related so far till now, till date?
Yes.
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 Yeah.
Yeah.
Yes.
Every one of you would agree with this. Yeah. Thank you.
Mhm.
So now I want someone to read the third one.
All product backlog item all product backlog items are estimated by developers.
Yeah. So what happens in sprint planning meeting when it is understood by everyone? Then you will be asked, okay, what do you think? How long it will take for you? Okay, that should be the ideal question a product owner will ask to every single person who will be contributing into that, whether for coding purpose, whether for designing purpose, whether for analyzing purpose, whether for integration purpose or architectural purpose. So these are the roles and responsibility of team members, and they need to give their assessment of the hours or the days they will be putting it in as a part of contribution to make it happen. And yeah, so here the actual estimation is given by every one of you. So there are ways to give the estimations. Okay, I want someone to read this last one.
Their estimations determine the number of items that will be selected for the upcoming sprint.
Yeah. So based on this estimation, you as a product owner will calculate that if it is 10 days of work, say for example, are we able to accommodate all the items in this sprint or not? If it is exceeding the sprint hours, that is is going more than 80 hours, we cannot accommodate into the current sprint. So it will be anyway as per priority will go towards the next sprint. And in case something we needed to manage and everything sounds like a more prioritized stuff, you need to be asking what is the most highest priority job. Okay, and for that we have a term to which we call it as a HWJF. What is the full form of this?
Highest rated
Job first. That's right.
job
You're
first.
right.
Yeah.
Okay.
Exactly. So you need to understand in a nutshell what exactly this product backlog we are talking about. And for that, I'm going to share the next slide. I want someone to read the first one.
The
ahead.
product backlog is a list of functionalities, technical requirements, enhancements that are maintained and managed by the product owner.
Yeah. So everything means first when customer is talking to product owner, he would be talking about all the functionality he want to see in their application, any enhancement to be done. Okay, everything in one line. Customer for the customer, a product owner has to just jot it down. Okay, and then translate into epics. And translate into what, everyone?
Epics.
Epics are just a ticket. Okay, one liner ticket. These are also called as a enablers. What they are called as?
Enablers.
Yeah. So that will enable the entire team to, maximize it further into the various user stories. And then these user story will be taken up by business analyst, and then every user story will be broken down further into the various activities and tasks and will be assigned to the other team members for their work. Okay, so this is how one enabler or one epic or feature will expand further. So initially, until it takes the shape of the task or activities, these are up to user story will be considered only as a part of theory instead of task. With me so far, are you able to understand what I'm saying? Yes?
Yes.
Yes, yes.
Yes,
Okay,
yes.
thank you. I want someone to read the second bullet point.
If something is missing from the product backlog, it doesn't exist. So if a product exists, its product backlog also exists.
Yeah. So we need to understand any assumption. Yeah, any assumption will not be the part of the product backlog. Okay. So if it has not been mentioned, it means it is not there. So you as a product owner, you as a scrum master, you as a business analyst, you as a team member, you are supposed to ask a lot of questions so that making sure that it should become the part of the product backlog. Something may not come into the light of the discussion. Through the discussion, it may come into the light, and you can decide whether it has to be considered towards the part of development or not. As it clearly says that if it is if product exists, then there will be multiple product backlog, and multiple product backlog, it means that that product is not delivered in entirety. Okay, so you need to understand, even if the smaller pieces of the product backlog exist, it means that there is still possibility that the product has not been delivered completely. It means that if product exists, it the another point what it says, this one product backlog
Is never complete.
is
Never
never
complete.
is never complete. Why? Because it continue to change. Okay, it is very much dynamic. Why dynamic? Because customer also keep on checking with you how far the progress of the delivery has come up, or the software has progressed or integrated. Can we include this, that, and those? Okay, so whatever you know, so you will continue to make them added into the product stack, product backlog stack, based on the approval what management has given to make it at the part of the inclusion of the first version of the delivery of the software. You continue to add them into the product backlog, and if product backlog is finished, it means that there is no product. Okay, so product backlog will remain visible until the product exists. Okay, I want someone to read the last bullet point for me.
It changes constantly during work progress because new ideas, functionalities appear. Some of them change or move up or down the backlog list.
Yeah. So by now you have understood that because the product is progressing and many new requests are coming up, so it will remain dynamic, it will continue to change. And based on the priorities, the product backlogs will continue to go up and down because the priority is the key thing. And that makes it to move from urgent task to the not so urgent task, or must task, or could task, or would task. That these are the lingos from the business analyst point of view. With me so far, everyone? Yes?
Yes, Gaurav, I have a question here. Like, I don't know. I know that product owner and like BA, they have the similar like kind of job and everything. But where is that actually like thin line difference? Like, if so, some companies BA also do this, no, like manage the backlog, no, like not only
Okay.
always.
So
So is
understand. Very good question, Titas. I understand. Okay. So I'll be giving you as a part of the agile definition, and very good
yes,
question.
yes.
What has understood, and this will clarify multiple doubts if you are coming from the past experiences of being an agilist. Okay. What happens when you are getting trained as a part of agile, not through any training institute, but at the job itself? Okay. So in
Mm-hmm.
job, what you will see that how you have evolved by doing certain practice, and few practices are unknown. Okay, so in mind, what happened as an agilist, you develop a culture. What do you all develop?
A culture.
Culture.
Okay, and culture is a kind of a belief, whether external sources tell or don't tell, you bound to believe into that. Okay, even they say that this is wrong practices or this is the right practices, you tend to avoid those comments, and you because your neuron system are developed in that way as a part of practice, that becomes your muscle memory as well. Even someone tells you or don't tell you, you know that certain things are only to be practiced, and what something extra can be imposed can be ignored. This is how our mind conditioned in the agile world. Okay, because you have been trained by the environment, you have been trained by the practices of the existing customer, sorry, existing organization. Okay, what agility tells us the all the practices done by scrum master should be only done by the scrum master. Scrum master cannot be given any extra role of the business analyst. Okay, he cannot behave as a product owner or something like that. No other extra responsibility can be given to the scrum master. Okay, this is good to hear, this is good to know, and this is good to practice with those organization who believes into the agility from the core. But today in the decision making world and revenue oriented organizations objective, we understand these things. Okay, few practices we just understand, but when it comes to practicing into reality, we sometimes overlook at it, we sometimes ignore certain fact. Okay, so what exactly happened is, as an agilist, if you see in the uh, existing organization, if you are celebrating all the four ceremonies, but in few of the organization, you have seen the practices that every single time retrospective has been missed. Okay, sometime daily stand up is turning up into the status call, going more than 30 minutes. Okay, you need to ask and check, reality check, is it the agile? But at the same time, even though you will go as a strong core agilist, raising the voice about it, sometimes you need to just look at the organization's culture, and you need to adapt them. Okay, so because many got trained as well, and when they see that organization is driving in a different way, they don't find themselves getting adjusted to that environment, because they have been trained by the institution which says to follow certain activities, but their mind is not ready for that, because they say that they are not doing the right practices. Okay, why someone business analyst is doing what scrum master is expected to do? Why scrum master is doing certain thing what only business analyst need to be do? You see that as a part of individual contributor is getting merged with the another role as well. So these are very much confusion, but organization has become very comfortable in practicing certain things which should be not the actual practice. Okay, so these are all the cultures developed into the organization, and that's why it brings the question to the actual practices. Okay, but what agility tells us, agility talks about the adaptability. In a certain time, if it defines that you need not to follow agility anymore, that is again the part of agility that we need to understand, we need not to forget, because agility only gives you the power to, if you are practicing scrum, there you can accommodate waterfall model as well. If waterfall model has been given to you, if you are practicing waterfall model, you can combine Kanban into that. Okay, so these are only because agility has given you power. So now what exactly I want to say and tell you, that it's all about the adaptability, tweaking and embracing the new changes. Okay, and understanding the organization's culture rather than the institutional taught practices. Okay, so this is how you see there are the various changes into the roles as well. With me so far, everyone? And that's the reason we combined two tracks together. That is Scrum Master and Business Analyst. Because when you want to become the Scrum Master, you will identify the job description where you will be asked, okay, as a Scrum Master, you should be you should have the knowledge to, gather the requirement well. So that will be considered as an added advantage. Now, if you are business analyst, it is expected the candidate should be knowing how to manage the product backlog as well, because, they want, a resource who can do multiple activity. They want some superhero to hire at lesser package. So this has been the trend everywhere into the market. At least into the Indian market, this has happening. I have seen it, and these resources get deputed internationally too. So they are just gaining all the benefit out of such kind of resources. So was I able to address your most of the question and doubts? Yeah.
Yeah, so you're saying, yeah, understood. So you're saying like BA and product owner, that's they do the same work, but it's depending
They
on the
should not be doing
organizational.
the same work. They should not be doing the same work. But
But
sometime you see that product owner can take an assistant, okay, from
mm-hmm,
the business analyst. Sometime, if
mm-hmm,
you as a business analyst are always the part of the meeting into the PMO level or the management level, and one fine day, if everyone finds that product owner is missing, the questions may be asked to the business analyst directly, okay,
right,
because
right,
product owner is not there.
right.
So always consider yourself as this, you as a business analyst is a kind of a person who is at the side of product owner, as well as you are at the side of Scrum Master. Okay,
Mm-hmm,
so
mm-hmm.
you have a certain unsaid responsibility upon you, which is never on the paper. Okay, Thetis. So
Yes,
this has been seen
both
in the
the same.
organization.
Yeah, it's
Yes.
organizational. Yeah, yeah, structure
Yeah,
like
yeah,
how it is.
yeah, yeah, and it is never on the paper. Okay, we
Yeah,
don't
right.
expect you to do these activity, we can say, but still I expect you as an organization from you,
Mm-hmm,
right?
mm-hmm.
You're getting my point?
Yes,
Yeah,
thank you.
thank you. And everyone, do you understand what a wonderful question Titas has asked, and was it useful for you to understand too? Everyone.
Yes.
Yes.
Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah, yeah. So wonderful. You can also come up with such question. And guys, I am seeing that only one person is really contributing and responding. I want all of you to, you should understand this thing. Where we are heading is about the, cross-functional team. Let's uncover that part. And for that, first you need to understand few things about product backlog. This is the part of backlog grooming when business analyst is thinking of the future releases. Okay, he has certain time to buy, and here he will write and expand the future user stories into the bot time. Okay, so this is also called as product backlog grooming or product backlog refinement. What it will be called as?
Product backlog.
Product backlog
Refinement.
refinement.
Product backlog refinement.
Exactly. Can someone read the first bullet point for me, please?
The product backlog is a prioritized set of requests for desired product functionality and contains all necessary items to complete the product release.
Yeah. So you know that with HWJF, we just addressed this, that this is the functionality we are going to make it part of the product releases or future releases. Can someone read the second as well for me?
The
The
product
product
backlog breaks down requests into a series of tasks for the development team and is an essential component to guide your agile development team.
Yeah. So the core idea behind the product backlog, it has to get converted into task. Before task, everything will remain theory. Okay. So theory, we cannot deliver the theory. We have to deliver task. What we have to deliver?
task.
Tasks.
Yeah, yeah. So that you need to remember as a business analyst, your target has to convert everything into doable tasks. With this note, I would like to invite Prerna for take the next slide. So Prerna, if you're there, can you take this next slide, please? And meanwhile, I'll just take the water break as well.
Yes, Guru. Yes. Give me a second.
Yeah, sure.
Yes. So let us understand the tips about how a product owner manages the product backlog. Okay. As of now, everybody is well equipped with the understanding of what is a product backlog and who manages it. So first of all, product backlog, as we all know, is a set of all the requirements that and this is a trick question that is being asked in some of the interviews. I mean, that can be asked. It's not a mandatory that it has been asked that anybody and everybody can update the product backlog. So the answer to that is no. Only product owner can update the product backlog. And also one more question is, can there be more than one product backlog? So the question is, there can be, but it is not recommended to have it. Okay, these are some of the questions. And by the way, why? First of all, it's not that you cannot have more than one product backlog, but the situation is if you have more than one, then it is very difficult to maintain them. Okay, and also there should always be only one source of requirement. That's why we should always have one product backlog. Okay, so always remember this. So let us see how a product owner manages this. Yeah. Can I request, I would say, 6 different people to read out the 6 points mentioned here, please?
As a
As a
product
product
owner,
As a
you're
product owner, you are responsible for product backlog management to maximize the value of the product.
Okay, let's go one by one. So what it says is, as a product owner, you are responsible to maximize the value of the product. So what does it mean? That simply means that all the set of requirements that you have in product backlog, first of all, those needs to be prioritized as per the client requirements. Okay. And we need to ensure that all the things that client had asked for are a part of that product backlog, list or entire product backlog. That simply means each and every requirement that the client gives us, that has to be present in the product backlog. Just imagine if a particular requirement given by client is not in the product backlog, that simply means that requirement does not exist. That means we have not registered that requirement, or we have not taken that requirement. Okay. So it simply, for everybody's understanding, it simply means, the first sentence means that when we want to deliver to the customer, we have to ensure that we look up to our product backlog, and as per the, I would say, priority of that requirement, we deliver to the customer. Make sense? Yes, no?
Yes.
Yeah.
Yeah? Okay, great. Next point, please.
the product backlog is the single source of truth which contains all the work to be done on the product.
Yes. Now, this is a very, this is what we were speaking about. So product backlog is a single source of truth. That means it is the only source of requirement that we need to maintain, that a product owner needs to maintain. That means you cannot have more than one product backlog, and you cannot even have more than one sources, like any other list or any other documents wherein you look out for requirements. So this statement means that product backlog is the one and only source. Source means a specific place wherein you take out the requirements, or wherein all the requirements are placed. So that is the only place or source where you get all the requirements. And as I mentioned earlier, it has to be only one, not more than one. Yes, makes sense?
Yes.
Yes.
Next point, please. Yeah, thank you. Next point.
You will have to make some choices about what to build first and what to build later, but also what to build and what not to build.
Absolutely right. Now, this is to do with priority, importance, and also what needs to be developed or what cannot be developed. Okay. So here, what the first part of the statement says is that we need to decide on what we need to build and when. So it simply means all the requirements, sorry, all the requirements will have priority, high, medium, low. High priority being the most important one, high or critical, they will be at the top. Okay. Top of the list of the product backlog. So those items will definitely will be worked upon on a priority basis. And by the way, can you tell who decides the priority of the requirements? What do you think?
Product owner.
Product owner.
Product owner. Anybody else?
Customer.
Client. The client.
Absolutely. The
Master.
correct answer is client. See, for example, there is a party at your place, for say a birthday party at your house, for your kids or for your niece and nephews, anyone, the younger member in the house, and you have ordered a chocolate cake, customized, okay, customized chocolate cake. Then the detailing and the priority should be given by you or by the bakery?
By us.
By us.
By us, right? Because it is our product. We want it the way we would like it as per your kid's choice or whatever, this picture, this design. So same way, absolutely in the same pattern, the customer is the one who is giving us the specifications and details. So their priority is, is of utmost important. Also, to add to this, product owner does have a say in it. Like many a times, what happens, some of the requirements will have dependency on each other. Like for example, you can't go ahead with icing of the cake unless you prepare the bread or the base of the cake, right? As simple as that. Same way, some of the requirements would need other requirements to get completed. So in that scenario, product owner can come up, or even the development team can come and tell the customer that, okay, we need to complete this requirement first. Guys, please go on mute. There is some sound coming in from some of you. So yeah, please go on mute. It's a request. Thank you. So, that is what. So the bottom line is customer is the one who decides the priority. And the second point is what to work and what not to work. Again, that generally comes from the customer, but even as a product owner, as a representative of the team towards the client, we can put forward about some things that that may not be possible or that may not be feasible, that cannot be worked. We can put it forward. Okay. So always remember, it is never a one person's decision. It's always a collective decision by the team about what not to work or what cannot be developed. Okay. So if somebody asks you who decide that a particular requirement should not be worked upon or should not be considered, so you always say it's not a one person's decision. It is always a collective decision, and that will definitely be considered post client's agreement. Make sense, guys?
Yes.
Yes.
Okay. Thank you. Next point, please.
The main tool to manage the product and gain predictability is the backlog.
Absolutely right. So this is the single source of truth, and this is the only way you understand what all requirements are there, or what all things we need to complete to make the product working, or what is the requirement for the product. And ultimately, gain predictability of the backlog means to understand what all features are there in the backlog in the product. So that's why we focus on the backlog. That means your entire requirement for your application, for your product, for anything that you're preparing, a website, a web application, all the requirements will be a part of product backlog. It's actually means that, and predictability is the backlog means, as I mentioned, if a particular requirement is not a part of product backlog, that requirement does not exist for the team. Okay, next point.
But if it grows uncontrollably, the value it provides diminishes.
Absolutely right. Now, let me give you a very practical example. Okay, you have your day off, like per se a weekend, and you decide to have a to-do list. Okay, a lot of household chores you have to complete and stuff. So imagine if you have, say, 5 to roughly like more than 10 items. Will you be able to manage all the items within the weekend period?
No.
No, in 2 days. Like small, imagine the smaller item, like for example, clean the dishes or go for grocery or buy something. Not not the one like clean the entire house and stuff. The smaller ones.
Mhm.
Yeah.
Yeah, that
Yeah.
we
I,
can. Yeah.
I'm really taken aback by your list of to-do list. I mean, that is generally smaller than this. Then you guys are really cool. You have everything under control. Okay, super. So I was like the perspective that I'm coming from is like if you have a limited set of chores to do in a specific amount of time, you can dedicate and you can plan and you do it. Now imagine you have 2 days and you have mentioned per se almost like 50 task list to do that, to the bigger ones like clean the entire house, arrange the garage, and go somewhere at a very, very far place for some of the purchase or stuff like that, which you can see it's not feasible. So will you be able to complete that to do list?
No.
Guys, give me a second. Yeah. Thank you for waiting, guys. I got a call from there, sir. Yeah. So let us continue. The next and the last point on this slide is, please go ahead.
And
And
unreasonably, go ahead.
An unreasonably long backlog is a major pain point for many agile teams.
Absolutely right. This is the example we just spoke about. If you have any unrealistic or unreasonably super long list of requirements or to-do list, it is bound to be uncontrollable, right? Like you will actually, first of all, feel not so confident about completing it. Like, okay, I have so much to do, and from where would I start and stuff like that. So the basic point to understand here is we need to be organized, we need to be particular, we need to be very specific. We means as a product owner, he or she needs to be very specific and very particular when it comes to product backlog, and there should not be any item that is just there for the sake of it. It should be absolutely prioritized. It should be ensured that it is going to be part of the product, and it has to be approved by the customer. Make sense? Yes, any doubt in this,
Yes.
guys?
No.
Yeah. Always compare this product backlog with your own set of to-do list or your own set of requirements, or your real life scenario. So you will get a fair idea that can I do anything that is it's growing uncontrollably, or can I focus on things which are under my control? If there are like limited amount of work to be done, then you will only get your answer. Yeah. Gaurav, we can go to next slide, please.
Yeah, sure. Just give me a moment.
Yeah, thank you. Now, these are the favorite parts of mine. Like having these images is very, very helpful for the memory retention and for recollection. Now, here, if you could see, everybody can see the image. Yeah, yes, no.
Yes.
Yes.
So
Yeah.
I'll recommend you to take a picture of it from your mobile or any device. Take a screenshot or a picture for your reference. So tell me what it says. There is everything written on the images. What it says, yeah. Can one or two people explain this? What is mentioned here in your own words? Okay, it can be right, wrong, doesn't matter.
So it's a product backlog, the first one. It's like all the requirements we need, like all the requirements divided into the or epic or something, and then it's going to the sprint, and then sprint planning is the where we are planning for the next sprint, which are the requirement we can actually add to the next sprint, and this is
Mm-hmm.
then after that sprint planning, and these are the small like one requirement broken into the user stories, and that is actually showing in the pictures like small, and that is the sprint backlog. And the whole, I think it is saying 20 days, like one sprint. 20, is it like it's a 4 weeks? Yes, and then 24 hours. I think every 24 hours we have a stand-up meeting, and overall it is like Scrum. It's saying the Scrum because this whole process is a agile Scrum.
Very well explained.
Yes,
Very well explained. Your name is Titash, right?
yes, Titash.
Yes. Thank you so much, Titash. Absolutely right. The only point I would like to add here is, uh, can all see the arrow coming out of product backlog into sprint backlog? So that
Yes.
simply means in your sprint planning, you take out items from product backlog into your sprint backlog. That means product backlog is the master database, or it's the master source. And from that, you take a subset, you take some amount out, that is your sprint backlog. So always remember this. So basically what happens, imagine if your product backlog has 100 work items, 100 requirements, okay, 100 user stories, for example. And during each new sprint, you are taking out 10 requirements. So, having this consistent number of 10 requirements every time. So ultimately, by end of 10th sprint, your product backlog should be empty, or it should be completed. Make sense? 10 into 10,
Yes.
100. So that is the pattern that we follow. Other explanation very well given by Titash. that yes, from product backlog during sprint planning, we have a discussion and we take out items into sprint backlog, and then we have a upcoming sprint of 20 days. 20 working days is 4 weeks. Absolutely right. 5 into 4. And then in this sprint, we have daily stand-up meeting, and we work on the sprint and we ultimately deliver. Makes sense? Very well done. Yeah, Gaurav, we can go to next slide, please. So now these are the tips. Now we understood who manages and how it is managed, the product backlog. Now there are some tips about how to manage. Okay. So I'll just request different people to read out one point. Once you read the one point, I'll explain that. So we can cover them all. Yeah. First point, please.
Set priorities.
Absolutely right. So you got to set priorities. That means we already discussed as per the priority given by the customer, we have to prioritize item, and in product backlog, highest priority always remains at the top and lowest at the below. Simple. Next point.
Keep the product backlog manageable.
Yes, this is also we explain that do not, please maintain it and be mindful that it does not grow uncontrollably. That means you should not have too many items in it. You should have only items or requirements approved by the customer, which we will be developing. So there should not be anything that is not required or that is not given by the customer. Yeah. Next point, please.
Review the
Review the
backlog
backlog.
periodically.
Yes. So it's not that that customer has given the requirements and that's okay, you're going with the flow, that's it. No, in between, have a check on the requirements, in your subsequent meetings or sprint review with the customer, if you have any particular doubts, if you see some of the requirements are redundant, they're already been developed, or anything, any observation that you have, please speak up with the customer and ensure that you have the perfect to-do list. There is nothing repetitive. There is nothing obsolete. There's nothing that doesn't apply as of now. That all can be removed. Yes. Next point.
Delete items you will never do.
Absolutely right. There's nothing to explain in that. Yes. Next.
Keep items you are not ready for the back.
Or off the backlog. That means, see, there can be scenarios when a customer is asking for something and you as a team have not yet decided, or it can be technically not feasible. Sorry. Or also it can be a scenario that it is not in line with your product architect or product design, but the customer is being adamant or things like that. Okay, so as of now, when you do not have the agreement to complete on that or work on that requirement, please be mindful and do not have that requirement in your product backlog. That means something that you do not want to work on or do not wish to work on, or it is not feasible, please do not put all such items in product backlog. Make sense?
Mhm.
Yes, thank you. Next point.
Do not add tasks unless you plan to do them soon.
Absolutely right. So it's not that you just have to add for the sake of it. If we are adding something in product backlog, we need to ensure that those requirements will be done, and will be prioritized and will be completed. So do not add something that you don't intend to get completed. Yes.
Always prioritize.
Couldn't hear. Yeah.
Always prioritize.
Yes, that we always that we already discussed, set priorities and always prioritize. That means, see, basically why these pointers are mentioned here and why they are important is in the due course of action or in the daily work, I would say routine. See, it tends to happen that we kind of get confused. I won't say confused, or we kind of forget to mention the priority, or Or to be very honest, in practical scenarios, priorities change. Earlier the customer wanted some other things to be developed first. Now maybe their vision or their current as per their current agenda of work, they want to have some other requirements to be completed first. So yeah, priorities always change, in between. So we need to ensure that we are working as per that. Yes. Next point.
Stick to one product backlog.
Yes, that we have already learned. Next point.
You don't have to do it all yourself.
Yes. Now that simply means as a product owner, it doesn't mean that you are the only person for responsible for everything. Though you're responsible for updating and ensuring the product backlog is up to date, that's your duty, absolutely right. But that doesn't mean you only take the decision. The decision generally comes from the customer and at times also from the team. So though the maintenance and ownership is on product owner, but the decisions to what to put in and what not to put in and the priority will come from other stakeholders too. So that is why it is meaning you don't have to do it yourself. You will also get input from others. Yeah. Last.
Review the timeline.
Yes, this simply means that all the requirements that you have mentioned should have a particular timing or particular duration allotted. So a major or bigger requirement might require a week's time, or a smaller one would require few hours. So same way, you would need to have timelines for all the requirements. Easy to understand, guys? Any doubt in this?
No.
No.
No. Yeah, considering this no for all. Thank you. Gaurav, we can go to next slide, please. Yes, furthermore, some more tips. Starting from top, you go ahead.
Not everything has to be a user story.
Yes, that simply means, as we were discussing, if something is not approved by the customer, if something is not technically feasible, if something is not appropriate for your product, but the customer is trying to push it, that doesn't mean you have to accept it. Okay, we can have due discussions and agreement on that this is not doable, this is not feasible. My in my earlier role as a project manager, I have come across such situation wherein the customer's demands were not in line with the scope or with the overall design of the application. It was a website for a mutual fund client. And then we gave it a thorough understanding. We had a discussion with the customer and we explained them that what are they asking is not feasible or it is not suitable as per the current design. And then though it required a lot of perseverance and a lot of pursuing from our end, but then ultimately they agree. So yes, in such a scenario, you have to be determined and you have to have proper explanations. And sometimes we have to tell the clients that what is feasible and what is not. Yeah. Next point, please.
Know what is on your product backlog.
product backlog.
No, I couldn't hear. Yeah. Any one person?
Know what is on your product backlog.
Okay, so it simply means it's not only you are maintaining and managing, but we as a product owner or even as a team, we should know what the requirement means, what is there in the product backlog. Okay, we should have some background and understanding about the requirements. Next point.
Reorder the product backlog continuously.
Yes. So reorder means as per the subsequent meetings with the customer, as per the market trends, as per the internal development teams updates. There can be a scenario. Rather, there are scenarios when we need to reorder. Like for example, something was of low priority earlier, so it was at the back of at the I would say bottom of the product backlog, but then the customer as of now wants that to be developed first. The priority has gone high, so you consider that item to be developed. So same way, we need to ensure that we prioritize it properly, and keep an eye on the entire product backlog in between from the ordering perspective. Yes, next point.
The product backlog shouldn't be complete.
Yes, this simply means it is an ever growing product backlog. That means till your application or till your project is on, there will be some of the requirements that will keep coming.
Mhm.
Yes, next point.
Focus on what and why.
Yes. So basically, what are we working on and why are we working on that requirement? So what means the requirement description, and why means why the customer is asking for it. What is the relevance of the requirement with respect to the application or with respect to the product? Yes. These are all some practical questions, even if you have your to-do list or you have your work items to be done, you would also ask yourself, right? Next point.
Put it on the wall.
That means any requirement that you have, please mention it in the product backlog. If we don't have it in the product backlog, it does not exist for your project. Yes. Next point.
Keep stakeholders updated. Oh, did I miss anything? Oh, there is more than a customer or business value. Sorry, I'm just coughing.
So this simply means that it is not only from the point of view of customer or business, but it is also very integral a part of how your own development team manages it. So don't look at it only from the customer point of view. Kind of like think it as it's your own baby, it's your own work item, and maintain it from that angle. So it is not only customer requirements, it is not only, it is definitely that, but it is more than that. It is more than the only business or customer point of view. It is your own work item, it is your own day in day out activities. So be mindful about that and look it from that point of view. Yeah, last point.
Keep stakeholder update.
Yeah, keep stakeholders updated. That means all the stakeholders, internal, external, like clients or your internal senior management or resources from other team who might be working from for your project. So keep everyone updated about about the product backlog, like what is the current state, how many items are still pending, how many user stories are there, what is the prioritization looks like. So all these things needs to be managed and done by the product owner. Yeah. Anybody has any doubt in this? Yes, no?
No.
No?
No, no.
Absolutely, absolutely no. Thank you so much for your response. Yeah, Gaurav, we can move to next slide, please. Yes, now this is one of the very important and very interesting topic, I would say. Some of you might be aware of it. For some of you, it might be a completely new concept. So what it says is, the teams which we have are self-organizing and cross-functional. So now, funnily, we have it in on our screen, but I mean, you might have read it also. But in your own words, can you explain what is your understanding when we say it a self-organizing team?
It's a
Please
work.
say in your
It's a
own
group
words.
of.
We do not have to read what is mentioned on the screen. Yeah.
It's a
Maybe
group of people uh,
Mm-hmm.
uh, working together to accomplish a goal or something.
Okay, that's
Uh,
right. But can we emphasize on the word self-organizing?
that means
maybe people volunteering up to take works, to take part of work and completing the entire project.
so
Makes sense.
Self-organizing
I
means
like this. I like the choice of the word voluntary taking up the work. Yes. Next point.
so it is like self-organizing means like whoever take the charge of the work can do it independently because uh, it's a organized team, like that team, whoever is the participate in that team, like they know like their work, so it's more organized. So that is the self-organizing. And cross-functional means in actually in um, this software development.
Can you please repeat self-organizing? Sorry, I was not
I'm
able to
sorry.
hear in between.
I am sorry because my voice is not good. Like I'm,
Okay, okay. And then
yeah,
fine,
but
fine.
I'm just
Don't
no,
strain
no,
yourself.
no, it's okay. It's self-organizing mean team is because they're in this, like there are different uh, like everybody has their own skills, okay, own like developer has their somebody knows like maybe good in the Java, maybe I'm just giving example, just
No, no,
giving
it's fine. Go
an
ahead. Go
example.
ahead.
So that is actually their like that person's like strength, okay, and he knows his work.
Mhm.
Maybe you have to develop something and use that his skills, and always and somebody who is who are like suppose who design the work, like how the product will be designed, he knows his work, so that is means he can do independently his works, like developer can do that independently. So that is the self organizing means. And when it is cross functionals means
Mm-hmm.
everybody, like the different people has their different domain knowledge or different expertise
Mm-hmm.
kind of, and they're giving their input and making a product like, and that way actually in overall way it comes like a self organized product, or like self-organized the product comes like through the organized team, self-organized team. So that
Yes,
is that.
very well
Like,
explained,
I'm
Titash.
not sure, like I'm just
No,
trying to take a word.
definitely on the right track. Definitely on the right track, and very
So
well explained. See. Yeah, and thank you. With your this throat also, you could
I,
speak up. So
I couldn't take
appreciate your
class
effort.
actually yesterday because I was not able to even see it. Today I can actually able to
Oh,
little bit speak kind of.
yeah,
So
that's nice of you. You can always watch the recording, and thank you
yes.
so much for explaining. So, guys, what Titash actually mentioned, it's on the right track. So, can I request someone to read out the first sentence, please? Then we can go with the formal, discussion. Yeah.
A self organizing team is one that does not depend on or wait for a manager to assign work. Instead, these teams find their own work and manage the associated responsibilities and timelines.
Absolutely right. So what Titash was saying was definitely on the right track. That means, see, teams. First of all, this is not any Scrum team is not a ordinary team. Team. They are the skilled, highly skilled, and highly experienced and best of their own field. Employees or resources. So when you have such people in your team, they do not need any managers to micromanage them to ensure or to I would say delegate them some activity. They themselves are equipped, they themselves are motivated, they themselves are intelligent enough to take up activities as per their own skill set. So and then they know what are the timelines are, what are the requirements are, what is the complexity is, and they start working. So now this is what it is called as self-organizing, that they do not, that as a team, they do not wait for other manager or anybody outside their team to come and allot them work. They themselves pick it up and start working as per the timelines. Make sense, guys? Yes, no?
Yes,
Yes.
yes.
Thank you so much. Yeah, next point please.
Cross-functional teams include all competencies and domain knowledge without depending on others outside the team.
Okay, this simply means that when you have a cross-functional team, see, cross-functional. So it's simple. You have functions, those are being crossed. That is, those are being, kind of multiple functions are there that they are being used in between by everyone. Cross means kind of like a mixture, you can understand. So in this scenario, we have a team. See, in our development team, who all are there? There are developers, there are testers, there are BAs, business analysts, there are architects, there are, network security guys as required, there are designers as required. So we have a blend, rather I would say a beautiful blend of all the requirements, all the skill sets. So when you have such a skill set mix, that is called as cross functional, and in this scenario, as a team, they are very knowledgeable, they are expert in their field, so they do not need anybody else's input generally. I'm not saying they always don't need. So generally, they are good to start their work on their own. So they do not depend on anybody else, or especially from outside of the project, for guidance. They are self-initiative and self-motivated, and they start working on their requirements. Yeah. Because, and by the way, because they have all the domain knowledge and competency means they are well equipped in their work, and they also have the background and domain knowledge. So they start working on their project work, yeah, without anybody assigning or telling them what to do. Last point, guys.
A
Almost
cross-functional team
time.
is a group of people with different functional expertise working towards a common goal.
Yes, so that simply means we have a set of people with different background, different I would say knowledge areas, different subject matter expert, but then ultimately their goal is to work towards the project completion. Make sense? Yes. Any doubts? See, it is a very important and very practical topic. So tomorrow when you work with a Scrum team, you will realize that they are like the best, or they are the experts that you're dealing with. So it's always good to know about their characteristics or how they work. So any doubts in this? Yeah, in this topic or this details mentioned? Anybody?
No.
No. No. Okay, so we are almost past time. So yeah, Gaurav, over to you. Thank you so much.
Yeah, thank you so much, Prerna. So, yes, everyone. So, this is now time for a quick attendance from all of you. So, yesterday we took the attendance of everyone who has just dropped their name along with one or two words, what you felt like saying. Likewise, today I'll be taking everyone's, attendance, provided you go ahead into this group, WhatsApp group over here. Just write down your name and one or two word that you feel like saying after today's session. You don't just mention what did you learn, just mention one or two what you feel. Okay, is it clear, everyone? You are going to mark your attendance in this manner? Yes from everyone?
Yes.
Yeah. Thank you. And with this note, I'm looking forward for your assignments, said and unsaid, both the assignment this week it is going to be. And next week will be the week where we will be transitioning towards the business analysis. Okay. So yeah, we'll be covering a lot next week and transition accordingly. With this note, anyone, any question you have? If no question, we can wrap up then. All right. Thank you so much, everyone, for showing up and attending till the end and going to mark your attendance now. Thank you. We'll talk to you again.
Thank you.
Bye-bye. Good night. Good
Thank
night,
you,
everyone.
Gaurav.
Good
Thank
night.
you.
Bye-bye.
Thank you. Thank
Thank
you.
you.
Bye.
Thank you. Good night.
Thank you all. Bye.